This morning, we're going to visit a new business specializing in helping you start your day with a hot cup of joe. This morning, Ansley Watson is telling us who she's meeting up with. Morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. Well, you know how much I love coffee. There is a new coffee roaster right here in Marquette. They're actually called Crappie Coffee. They started back in November, and although we're not necessarily in a storefront, as you can see behind me, there's hundreds of pounds of beans that need to be roasted, and those can be found across various businesses in town. So we'll have more details later in the hour. Stay with us. Reporting live in Marquette Township, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. I'm glad you found that coffee you were looking for. Yeah, she was walking around this morning saying, "I'm very tired. I need coffee."
Tuesday feeling.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yes. Well, and I think because Crappie Coffee is a new local roasting business that takes pride in creating high-quality products. This morning, Ansley Watson is at their location telling us more about how they do this roasting process. Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Vicki. It's a good day. Got coffee in hand, so we're good to go. Joining me this morning is Dylan Trost, and he is the head roaster here for Crappie Coffee, and Dave Grant, one of the co-owners. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning.
So Crappie Coffee started back in November here in Marquette Township.
Like that, right? November, October.
Around then?
That's when the machine finally turned on. It started 18 months before that.
Where did the whole idea of Crappie Coffee come from? Basically the name too. A fish, coffee, how does that mesh together?
I think it's kind of a joke at ourselves in a way. You know, I think Dave could probably give some more insight on that one. You know, he came up with it.
I used to charter fish and still fish, and my wife and I gave our wedding vows at the pavilion, and she always called the fish crappie and I was crappie. So that it became an inside joke with us, and we're irreverent enough to poke fun at ourselves.
I love it. Well, when we look around, obviously there's hundreds of pounds of beans around here.
Thousands.
Thousands? Oh, well, even better. You guys, just watching you, you're like scientists. You're just testing out the beans here. You're breaking it down step by step. What are you guys looking for whenever you do roast these beans?
Trying to bring out, you know, the unique characteristics of each bean when we roast. Like I like how David put it just a few minutes ago that we're coffee researchers, right?
You
At
really
the
are.
moment, you know. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, I guess. You know. What about you, Dave? We're all different. You know?
It's balancing the good flavors and trying to remove the bad, and developing the bean in a very narrow range that's so challenging. And it's really the challenge of this project that drives it. You know, reading about it for 3 hours at night and constantly reviewing our data and testing and throwing more coffee away by far than we ever sell.
A lot of burnt coffee, huh?
Not burnt.
Just prototype.
My yard is buried 2 inches deep with coffee that's better than most people ever drink.
Wow.
Just for composting.
And a lot of it we donate to like the women's shelter and the warming center too.
Well, where can people find your coffee? Because like I said, you don't necessarily have a storefront here, but you do sell it.
Yeah, we sell quite a bit of it at the food co-op, the Marquette Food Co-op. The Flying Moose has been another big proprietor of it. Econo, Farmer Q's, Spice Merchants, and City Green Market up in Nagati sells it too. And a lot of people, you know, get in touch with me on Facebook too and Instagram. And I ship a lot of coffee out or make deliveries also.
We look behind us, obviously we can see the roaster right here. I think in the next segment we might have to roast us some coffee. Sound good?
I think so.
All right, we'll see how this thing is put to the test here.
This is a hiatus. We will be roasting coffee. If I'm up at 5 in the morning,
Drinking, roasting,
there
whatever
will
we gotta
be
do.
coffee roasted.
You said this is the 5:30 a.m. theory, so
this is testing a new theory.
I love it.
So.
So stay with us. It's going to be interesting. Reporting live Marquette Township, Ansley Watson, TV6 News.
All right, thank you very much, Ansley. As we start up the day, I know a lot of folks probably have hot coffee in hand, ready to
A
go.
local coffee roaster is providing a new product with a business called Crappie Coffee. Ansley joins us now to talk more about the roasting process.
No, there are 3 people.
Good morning, Ansley.
Good morning, Andrew. Yes, Dylan Trost, he's a head roaster joining us this morning. Also, Dave Grant, one of the co-owners for Crappie Coffee. I've got to say, You guys have a very interesting thing going on here. You don't have a storefront, but you definitely do sell your beans around town here. No, we have a few bags on the shelf there, so if people want to see what your brand looks like, that's what it is. What are the sort of beans, I guess, that you're trying to sell here? What's your trademark?
Trying to maximize the best flavor and high quality, equitably sourced beans. And that doesn't really answer your question, except that we look everywhere in the world for flavor. And it could be East Africa, Sumatra, Central South America. And the places that we've really liked getting the flavors that we've discovered are not always where you'd expect. So we keep a very open mind. We have scientific bent to this project.
Now, Dylan, as the head roaster, what you're testing every single day. You said you have bad batches, you have good batches. How is that like for you? I mean, how do you do this?
Well,
He cries himself to sleep.
Yeah, I do. Well, every day, and I'm roasting just about every day, and I'm tasting coffees every day.
What do you look for whenever you taste the coffee? When do you know that it's good for you? I know everybody has a different, their taste buds are different. So what's good to you? What's good to others?
Well, personally, what's good to me is I like really acidic coffees. Sweet, that's what I'm looking for, sweet coffees. You know, when I'm tasting coffee, sometimes I'll intentionally roast a bad batch or something, you know, just to have the contrast between what is good and what is bad. You know, it's hard to describe, I guess.
Well, Dave, you said you like espresso, so
I do,
when you roast
and
your
I
beans,
don't like bitter coffee, and I don't actually like coffee very much. So I don't, like a drip cup of coffee is rare for me to finish, besides the caffeine addiction. The espresso is richer. It has kind of an instant hit. There we're going with the addiction again, but it has a very lingering, creamy, if it's not overly roasted, and if it's sweet, like Dylan's describing, you get all that intensity of flavor and just explodes. It's awesome.
Wow, so we're roasting beans right now. Kind of describe as best as you can how you even work this roaster. It's pretty fancy.
It's a gas drum fired roaster with a lot of motors and a couple of thermocouples, so it controls or monitors and controls the temperature as well as the gas. It's always turning because if the beans were to stop, they would burn, and certainly have caused some fires. It has a quench mechanism that flushes it with water if it got too hot. It's timed automatically based on programs that we've tested manually and retested and continue to upgrade to hit that sweet spot between developing the sweet sugars and not taking it out too far to get a bitter burned flavor. And for me, that means trying to take a milder coffee, typically Brazilian, that can concentrate well in the espresso format, adding some other overtone coffees like Central Americans or East Africans for flavor, nuance. But for someone who's doing drip coffee, it's going to be a totally different bean.
Awesome.
David's striving for an amazing espresso blend.
I've hit it one time and I've chased it ever since.
Briefly, just quickly, where can people find this coffee at?
They can get it at the neighborhood spot, Econo Foods, the Marquette Food Co-op, Flying Moose, Farmer Q's, Spice Merchants, and City Green Market in
Econo.
Magani.
All right.
Am I missing anything?
I think you got Econo.
You can get in touch with me on Facebook too, or Instagram or whatever.
Wonderful. Dylan, Dave, thank you guys so much for
Thank
being
you.
with us
All right,
this
thanks.
morning. Reporting live in Marquette Township, Ansley Watson, and we'll be back with more of your TV6 Morning News after the break.